Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today, I am going to explain a Vietnam short film called Flowing Water, Flowers Fade. Spoilers ahead. Stay safe and enjoyed. The movie begins with a long-haired man holding a flower in front of a grave. With his sad face in that gloomy atmosphere of the cemetery, he must be living with a long series of tragedies. The scene is then flashed back to the past before this tragedy happened. The man's name is Vu Linh. He is not a simple man, but a king in this kingdom. In his palace, he had a lot of concubines. One of these was a beautiful woman named Lam Ngoc. The beauty of her makes the king fall in love with her. He begins showing his love by warmly giving her a flower. However, it is this love that makes Lam Ngoc a thorn in the eyes of many concubines in the harem. That man named Hac Tien is a bodyguard close to Vu Linh. He is a mysterious person who intrigues and always hides secrets in his heart. One day, Lam Ngoc was bullied by other concubines. Hac Tien gave her a bag of flour, giving her a reason to defend herself. At one point, Lam Ngoc was bullied again by another concubine. Lam Ngoc threw flour at the concubine, causing her to become a zombie and causing disaster in the palace. A sea of blood poured out in the middle of the palace when people became zombies. Of course, it's a trickle. Ngoc is not only a thorn in the eyes of many concubines, but also a thorn in Hac Tien's eye too. At the moment, Hac Tien was taking advantage of the fact that Lam Ngoc is often bullied by the concubines. He cheated on her because he loved King Vu Linh. At a time when Vu Linh was stabbed in the chest by an arrow, Hac Tien was very worried about his beloved, so he used his mouth to suck poison from the wound on the king's chest. That moment made Vu Linh's heart flutter, and he realized his feelings for Hac Tien. Everything started to change. Meanwhile, Lam Ngoc is rescued by Vu Linh and she is still getting love, but from day to day, Lam Ngoc feels that Vu Linh is different from the old Vu Linh. He let his hair down, applying lipstick every day. Then, she accidentally discovered Vu Linh and Hac Tien's love scene right on the bed. Everything fell apart when Lam Ngoc discovered that she was just a pawn on the chessboard fighting in the palace. She lost her mind and was completely devastated by the pain. When she invited Hac Tien to a party and put poison in the wine, not because she was too eager to take revenge, she failed at her plan. Vu Linh appeared and promptly stopped Lam Ngoc when she took the knife to kill Hac Tien. Vu Linh killed Lam Ngoc because of her mistake. At the end of tragedies, King Vu Linh and the bodyguard Hac Tien went into the forest to meet a girl. That girl looks like Lam Ngoc. Yes, she's Lam Ngoc. True story. Vu Linh just acted killed, creating her fake death with fake blood. Vu Linh takes her out of the palace to an old couple with a lot of money to support her for life. Vu Linh used a needle, causing Lam Ngoc to lose her memory. King Vu Linh still loved Lam Ngoc and wanted her to have a happy life. At the same time, Lam Ngoc lost her memory and returned to her world to live with an elderly couple, living a free and happy life away from the palace's power and love. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching.